Yo, we're rolling. Hey guys, welcome back to another week of fundamental analysis. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. We're going to run through the 20th to the 26th of January. I haven't taken any trades this week. Markets are a bit slow. Some of the setups already are moving. You know, talking about gold and US 30 that I could have, or I was thinking about being in, but nevertheless, 20th of Jan to the 26th of Jan, and a reminder, guys, that this is not financial advice. I'm just merely presenting my opinion on the market. Please do your own research. And yeah, do your own research, make your own trades. Think about what you guys are going to do with your money. Okay, so first thing, COT reporting. We still see a very long bias to the US dollar. Trump's in office right now. There wasn't a Trump meeting that he didn't speak about potential rate cuts as well. And like with the US economy doing well, which we'll see later on, I'm not surprised that there is a big long bias from big money to the US dollar. You guys will also see the pairs that I'm trading, yen and Aussie, both have a long change as well, a long shift. Aussie's still heavily short bias in the long term, but you guys can see in the short term, big money is sort of putting more into the yen and Aussie. Now, funny enough, guys, NAS US 30, you can see S&P is negative, but NAS and US 30 are both positive in terms of long bias. And, you know, again, big money putting into the indices right now. I believe, in my personal opinion, it's a good time to get into the indices. Trump's in office, which generally we see Bitcoin going up during his, you know, when he got voted in. We see even the indices going up, and good economic reading on US economy. It's a no-brainer to me to actually long the indices. So that's something I'm going to be looking out for, potential setups, but that's just purely from a CET reporting. US data, we didn't have anything this week, so can't really talk too much on it. I did change sort of the inflation reading to bearish here, which is actually bullish for indices and gold. Obviously, this too being bullish is bullish for indices as well. Not so much bullish for gold, but as a result, I really hope I can get a setup on US 30 if it presents, and we'll see how it goes. Aussie, we had Westpac consumer confidence being better than expected, or not better than expected, but better than previous. We are still under the 0% mark, which is overall net negative. Doesn't really change my verdict for the, you know, the reading, economic reading portion of this, but something to note. Yen, we had policy rates. We had policy rates actually increase, and it has been the highest since, I think it's been an 18-month high. But as expected, basically the Japanese economy really trying to curb inflation. They have been trying for a while now. They're just really in a sticky situation. So that's policy rates. We got national core CPI as well, which was higher than previous, which is again should be a net bullish on the yen, net positive for the yen. However, I've popped it as neutral just because the expectation was rate hikes and also a higher CPI and obviously rate hikes to curb that. What's changed here? I've forgot to do this section here, guys, so I do apologize. I might have to go back. I think the only thing that's changed is Westpac consumer confidence, which we will change shortly. So everything's the same. I don't really need to go through it. Jobs, Westpac, here we go. So I did change this one. We will highlight that and we'll just talk about it in this view here. We don't need to go on presentation mode, but you guys can see still under zero. So it's not really an expansion. People are still, from a sentiment point of view, still net negative. Okay. Get rid of this. Bang, bang. All right, so this week's data, let's just pop back on presentation mode. This week's data, we have President Trump speaking. So we had Trump speaks on Friday as well as Wednesday, I believe, and he mentioned about tariff and taxes to enrich the US citizens in terms of long-term what this might entail for the overall market, US market. I'm not too sure. It might be positive, might be negative, we don't know, right? He's also said, I'll demand that interest rates drop immediately, and they should be dropping all over the world. So now that, the stimulus checks have run out post-COVID, interest rates being held high for quite a while now, we should be seeing a drop in, again, as Trump's saying, the US interest rate as well as all over the world. He has also mentioned about peace between Russia and Ukraine. I didn't read too deep into it. I just sort of mentioned that. So overall, in his speech, I see it as net bullish for the US in terms of the US economy. Peace between Russia and Ukraine is what I perceive as risk off. Tariff and taxes, the idea is to enrich the US citizens. So again, although this is ambiguous in terms of what it can play out to do, his intentions are quite risk on, and I'll perceive it as risk on. And if I take losses on that, I'll cop that on the chin. We also had Bank of Japan press release and policy rate, and again we said there was an 8-to-1 split to increase the policy rate to 0.5%, and this has been the highest since 2008. So you guys can see sort of the environment of the yen right now. Yeah, kind of shitty, very shitty actually. Next week's data, we have CPI for Aussie, we have rates for US, which would be very interesting. They're thinking about keeping it the same to previous. I wouldn't be surprised if it is. If it isn't, I would be surprised, and I would wait for the FOMC statement. But that's pretty much it for next week. Oh, GDP as well, advance. We will see. It's forecasted a bit lower than the end of the year. We will see how much this prints. This will be very interesting, and this will give us a nice indication of how US economy is doing. In terms of overall bias, still neutral on gold. I do believe overall it's a risk on environment. We have healthy US economy, healthy jobs, low inflation, which means US 30 and all the indices I will trade alongside if the setup presents. AU, we do have weakness in Aussie, strength in US, so happy to short that if the presentation arrives. In terms of UJ, we have strength in USD, we have neutral sort of stance in the yen. I trade longs, just a bit more cautious. It does have to be a nice technical setup for me to get in. And then AJ, just both doing either neutral or slight weakness. I'm not going to touch that. So let's jump onto the charts. We can see dollar is pulling back, dollar index pulling back. But overall trajectory still going up. You can just put a zone here. Let's see, yen index coming down. We do have a level of support here for the yen index. So it'll be interesting to see if we come down and come back up, or if we start a bull trend from there. Might indicate for us not to take any trades on UJ, depending on how this price action is. AJ, like I said, I'm not even going to bother. It's just choppy. AU, I want it to come into this level here. That's a nice zone there. If we go on the weekly, let's have a look and see if we've got price to the left of it over here, which we do. Quite several touch points actually. So I think that's a better entry here. This was too close, not enough retracement. If we go fib retracement from here. At least that hits the 50, and I'm happy to take that as a pullback. So that's AU, UJ. UJ, we have it marked here. We have a nice sort of engulfing from this little retracement here. We have a good wick there as well. Over here was way too close to the top for me personally. So nice daily pullback here. If we fib retrace from the bottom to the top, again we're at that. Yeah, we're at that 50%, at least on that green line there. I've popped this a bit higher. Let's put it down. But it's 50% there. Happy to take that long. If we go on the weekly, it is on a overall bull run right now. This is the highs. So this is max high, which we'll draw a line for. So it'll be interesting to see if we can retest that and get our position in. So that's that. US 30, you can see that's all-time highs as well. This one I'm a bit bummed out for because I should have been in this trade. From this engulfing, I should have been in this trade. So let's just see how high it's actually picked up. Trailed, it would have been a secured 3.5R, but it is what it is. I did have a look at this as well, which again, it was too close to the highs. It was a touch and go, but it is what it is. There's a nice liquidity pool here. Again, this is what I'm seeing, what I'm thinking based off the candles. If it's true or not, who knows, right? But big rejection there. I hope to get sort of here, and here, or here, even the stop loss here, and just ride it out. But that's US 30. Let's go on gold. Gold, again, I believe it's a risk-off environment, even though it's trending up. We are reaching all-time highs as well. So it'll be very interesting to see what happens with gold if it actually breaks all-time highs. But like I said, I'm overall risk on rather than risk off right now. So I prefer to trade US 30 over gold any day of the week right now. And it's trending nicer than gold. So yeah. Anyways, guys, that's it for this week. I'll catch you on to the next one. I'm going to record some videos regarding